Imagine standing at your window one evening, just looking up at the night sky. You spot that tiny red dot, Mars. It's fascinated us for literally thousands of years, right? I mean, we can look back and see how ancient civilizations thought it was this mysterious wandering star, right up until scientists later realized, wow, it's actually an entire complex world. Today, our most brilliant engineers are dreaming of sending humans there. Let's dive into this explainer and look at how that actually happens.
Now, while everybody gets caught up in the romance of astronauts voyaging across the solar system, we really need to ask a much more practical question. Who is actually going to lay the bricks? Building a city from scratch on an entirely different planet requires a monumental amount of raw, grueling physical labor. So, who's going to do it?
Well, the reality we're heading toward completely shatters our traditional expectations. Usually, we picture astronauts, right? Heavy construction crews and engineers walking around in bulky spacesuits with shovels and welders. But what if the very first builders aren't human at all? What if the first true citizens of Mars are actually machines? Let's picture the year 2042 for a second. Imagine a fleet of heavy cargo rockets touching down, kicking up all that iconic red dust as they land on the surface. The doors open, the ramps lower, and absolutely no one steps outside. There are no historic first footsteps, at least not yet.
Instead of people, hundreds of autonomous robots roll out. And they're not just wandering around randomly. They are all linked into an incredibly powerful centralized AI network. Each robot has a highly specific mission to kickstart this colony. Some immediately fan out to survey and map the terrain. Others start scooping up rocks and soil. You've even got robots tasked with manufacturing actual building bricks straight from the Martian dust, while others are busy unfolding massive solar panels to get the power flowing.
And you know, this mechanical crew brings a level of sheer efficiency that completely changes the game. Because they're machines, they literally work day and night. They don't need a lunch break. They don't need to sleep. They offer zero complaints. And honestly, the biggest perk? They have absolutely no need for oxygen. They possess a level of endurance that our fragile human biology just can't compete with.
So for these machines, the unbelievably hostile environment of Mars isn't some terrifying death trap, it's literally just another workplace. They don't care about the freezing temperatures that plunge well below anything we experience here on Earth, they don't worry about the deadly solar radiation constantly raining down, and they definitely don't panic when one of those massive, planet-wide dust storms rolls through.
Because they can just keep working uninterrupted through all these extreme conditions. Within months, they systematically build out everything future astronauts are going to need, and it's a super logical progression. First, roads start to appear, followed by power stations and communications towers. Next, they establish water extraction systems and dig out reinforced underground shelters to block the radiation. Finally, up go the greenhouses and the factories. The end result of all this tireless, perfectly coordinated labor. Long before the first human boot even touches that red dirt, a fully functional, highly integrated little city is already there waiting for them. The habitats are pressurized, the power is flowing, and the lights are on.
Now, I know this sounds like pure science fiction, like something straight out of a movie. But a lot of these technologies actually exist right now in early forms. We're not starting from scratch here. Today's engineers are actively developing robots that can navigate ridiculously difficult terrain without humans holding the joystick. AI is already being used to analyze satellite images, plan complex logistics, detect equipment failures before they even happen, and coordinate massive fleets of machines. And let's be super clear about why this total autonomy is absolutely essential. It's not just a nice convenience. It comes down to basic physics. The distance between Earth and Mars is so vast that a radio message can take several minutes just to travel one way. Because of that brutal communication delay, robots simply can't wait around for us to give them instructions. They have to be able to solve problems entirely on their own.
Just imagine a scenario where a construction robot finds a damaged solar panel. It can't just sit there for 20 minutes waiting for mission control to say what's next. So here's exactly how the AI handles it. First, it diagnoses the problem locally right then and there. Second, it instantly requests replacement parts from another robot nearby. Third, it updates the master construction schedule so everything else adjusts. And fourth, it simply gets back to work. AI will be making thousands of these independent little decisions every single day.
Without AI running the show, building a Martian city would be this painfully slow, start-and-stop nightmare that would likely take centuries. But here's the kicker. As incredible as the construction phase is, it's only the beginning. Because once the city is built and the humans actually show up, the massive intelligence of this network has to pivot entirely toward a brand new goal: keeping those fragile human inhabitants alive.
The AI essentially maps its solutions directly to the extreme, life-threatening dangers of the planet to manage every precious resource. Mars has practically zero breathable atmosphere, so the AI constantly monitors oxygen production. It's freezing, so the AI expertly balances the energy grid to keep the habitats warm. And to deal with radiation and unpredictable dust storms, the system uses advanced predictive models to forecast the weather, ensuring every single life support system runs without a hitch.
Think about it like this. If someone makes a small mistake here on Earth, maybe your power goes out for an hour. It's annoying, sure. But on Mars, a miscalculation in the water recycler or a sudden dip in energy could instantly become life-threatening. Because every single resource has to be managed so perfectly, artificial intelligence literally becomes the absolute lifeline of the colony. It truly becomes their most valuable resource.
But hey, this mission extends way beyond just basic survival. We are going all the way to Mars just to hide in underground bunkers, right? We're going there to explore. Imagine AI-controlled drones autonomously flying through those enormous, winding Martian canyons, mapping out zones that are way too dangerous for humans. Picture robotic rovers tunneling deep beneath the surface, actively hunting for signs of ancient microbial life, while automated labs analyze the samples around the clock.
Every single sample they analyze, every drone flight, every discovery made in the dark, it brings humanity closer to answering one of history's oldest, most profound questions. Did life ever exist beyond Earth? It's the ultimate mystery, the one thing that has really driven our total fascination with the cosmos. And if the answer to that question is yes, well, it completely transforms science forever. But what's incredibly poetic about this whole thing is that the very first evidence of alien life probably won't be found by human hands. It's almost certainly going to be discovered, analyzed, and confirmed by intelligent machines working millions of kilometers away in the freezing red dirt. So when you really think about it, the first city on Mars won't look or sound anything like our bustling, noisy cities here today. It begins much more quietly, just a silent network of robots, diligently building homes for people they have never even met. They're entirely focused on preparing a world where future generations will eventually arrive to live, work, learn, and maybe one day raise their families beneath a totally different sky.
This represents a massive shift in how we even view exploration. Our history books fondly remember the brave explorers who sailed across vast oceans, the first people who summited the highest mountains, and those legendary astronauts who left their boot prints on the moon. But this next great frontier, it's going to begin differently. It won't start with human footprints. It's going to begin with the precise tire tracks left behind by intelligent machines.
Because before humanity can ever hope to build a true civilization on another planet, artificial intelligence is going to have to lay the foundation. And that very foundation could be the critical first step toward turning us into a true multi-planet species. In our next explainer, we'll be diving into an even more astonishing possibility. But until then, I want to leave you with this. If our machines are the pioneers that actually conquer the stars, does the next chapter of human history belong to us or to the tools we created? Think about that the next time you look up at the night sky.